Most people think it is too late to get rich in our society, but the rich investors think differently and do the complete opposite. No one is telling you what to do for yourself. And I mean so rich that Elon Musk looks broke in comparison. And I want to break down for you as well how you can become so rich using the same strategy that has worked for eons that your friends and family think you're doing it illegal because it works that well. So, who is the richest person ever to live? And no, not the Illuminati, because one is top secret, and two, I like to be alive. But the average income across America is just under $64,000 a year, while Jeff Bezos made over $191 million a day based on his net worth. Yes, you read that right, a day. That would take somebody over 3,006 years to make his day pay. Most of you right now are probably saying that is not fair. How can we make that much money in our society? And that's top secret. But what I can tell you though is something to help you make more money right now in today's society, regardless of where you are currently in your life. And it's called leverage. Leverage is the key on how all these people on this list, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and so much more, got all of their income. Because leverage is the driving factor for your business, for success, and of course also investment. And let's face it, time is ticking. The more you wait, the harder it becomes every single day, month, and year. And with AI on the rise, we can probably safely assume that as we wait even longer, there may not even be jobs left for us to do. And I don't know about you, I'm not making any tech companies. What I can do is learn how to make sure I'm not stuck in a dystopian future like most of the society will be without learning this strategy. But here's the secret. There'll always be people. Whether we're in a crazy future or not, I don't think it'll happen, but if we are, there'll always be people, meaning we always need homes. So let's change the question. Who is the richest investor to ever live? Because this is the easier career path and strategy that most people can do regardless of where they're starting from. This took me from being homeless as a kid from 12 to 18 years old, now having a thriving real estate business, as one of the top agents in all USA with my wife and amazing son Alexander. You can see here, top 13 for all USA, number 11 I mean, number 1 for Austin, Texas, number 2 for year to date for Austin, Texas. But let's look at today. What's actually happening from top people who make the most amount of money? Look at Li Ka-shing. He is known as the Warren Buffett of China, and for good reason. His net worth is over $37 billion, and all through real estate. He's not breaking any records though, let's face it, he's not even top 15, but he is the top 50 people in the world of net worth that made it through real estate. You can see the list right now. Most of the top people are technology, consumer, and retail, meaning that if you don't have some big AI company, or you're crazy smart, or have a lot of connections, it may be hard for you to top this list, whereas real estate, anyone can do. Look at Harry Chiggleboff. He's worth just under $30 billion, and he is the Australian warlord for more or less when it comes to owning 80,000 complexes and skyrises in Australia. Massive empire, $30 billion. We have Donald Byrne, number 3 on our list of richest people on the planet. And he's actually the richest developer in America, worth over $18 billion, which is insane to think about. That after he lost $200 million last year, he still is worth $18 billion, still the richest person inside America in terms of developers. Now, here's a little fun thing for you though. Can you guess the largest farm owner in USA? If you know that question down below, let me know in the comment section. Who is the largest farm owner in USA? If you guess Bill Gates, you are right. He's out here actually picking the potatoes himself. He is the warlord when it comes to having the most amount of farmland as an individual person, around $700 million worth of farmland, 275,000 acres. So even people like him, who is top 15 on the list, are having massive investments inside of real estate. But let's think bigger. Let's look at Elon Musk. Number one on the spot, he's worth $500 billion. Number two is 340, 257, and 240 billion dollars. And so far, our biggest person we've seen so far, Lee Ka, is only worth $37 billion. Only put parentheses on there because it's still a lot of money, but he's not breaking any records. So let's go further. King Vajiralongkorn, I hope I pronounced that correctly, is worth $70 to $130 billion, and he's still alive today. I was just in Thailand with my wife and my family for 4.5 months, and we live like rich Americans in a penthouse, all nice resorts. But on the other side of that are people like this who live in huts and having broken homes, whereas he's worth over almost $100 billion today because he owns most of the land inside of Thailand. But as you can see here, he's still not breaking any records. Let's go back even further in time to the true change makers. William the Conqueror, worth $200 to $300 billion in today's money based on land ownership. He's number 5 on our list. And because he was so smart, he changed the feudal structure and made the king ultimate owner of all things virtually in English land. Meaning, he owned all of this land based on his change of the law. For context, this is how it looks on a real map. He owned most of the known world at that time, more or less, about 1000 AD. But there's even bigger fish on our numbers here. We have Mansa Musa. He is the myth, the legend, and one of the richest men ever to live. Some say even richer than $400 billion, now on par or close to surpassing Elon Musk. He was so rich that his pilgrimage that he did to Mecca in 1324 disrupted and bankrupted the entire country all the way up to Egypt because he gave out so much gold, which he was one of the largest owners of gold landmines in the entire world. That is some crazy level of wealth. You see here with his posse of 60 plus talented people, he was making sure people known he was around and living. But again, still, he is just under Elon Musk, $500 billion. Who can beat this man? Especially when he is in technology and cars and even inside your brains. But there are people out there, at least one we know of, who are doing even bigger things like Augustus Caesar, number 7 on our list. He did conquer the known world back in his time period, literally conquering everything. Alexander the Great did it first, he did it second, and he literally, pretty much anything you see in color was his land. Augustus Caesar, he had his today income based on GDP, what his wealth was worth in terms of land ownership, was $4.6 trillion in net worth. He is trumping Elon Musk by a landslide. So here's a list so far we've seen. We've seen people like Lee Ka worth 40 billion. You have the king worth 100. We have William the Conqueror at 2 to 300 billion. Mansa Musa 400 billion, almost on par to Elon Musk. And then finally Augustus Caesar, who trumps all of them combined, even also Elon Musk on that list as well. All thanks to owning land. But you're probably thinking to yourself, I'm not royalty. I can't do this. You said I have a way for you to become super rich that my friends and family think I'm doing something illegal. Don't worry. Stay on. I have some good news for you. Because you can do all of this, create true wealth without having any power. Now, we can use Sam Zell for a great example. Sam Zell is worth $5.2 billion before he passed away, all through real estate. But some of you may say he had daddy's money that helped him do this. When he was in college, his dad was already a well-known entrepreneur and an investor in real estate. And by the time he left college studying law, he had 200 to 300 apartments for his student housing portfolio. So he is kind of rich. Maybe we won't use him as a reference point. Or people like Donald Trump with $7 billion and also is the president of the known world. Hate him or love him, he has lots of money all through real estate. But of course, the same thing applies. He had a small loan of $1 million from his dad, and his connections, which in my mind is worth way more than $1 million. You have the right connections, you have a lot of opportunities. So again, we can't use these two people because you're probably saying to yourself, I don't have a small loan of $1 million, neither do I, or I don't have any connections like his dad had. No worries, I got your back still. Because right now, it may seem like an uphill battle to get your real estate portfolio to grow or to just make money at all in our society here in 2025. But don't worry, look at Leon Charney. He is worth over $1 billion self-made. When I mean self-made, I don't mean like he had a $1 million loan. I mean he used to sing at the singing gong to make his money. Literally was sing and knock on doors, door-to-door sales, or making his law firm in college. And fast forward to today, with $200 in his bank account when he started off back in '78, now over 50 years later, just about, he has amassed over $1 billion in real estate all inside of New York City. And then we have Wu Ya Jun, worth $6.7 billion in income, and she's also self-made. At one point in time, she was the richest woman on the planet who was a self-made billionaire. She started in her 30s with her husband when they had no money and somehow created one of the largest portfolios in the world. But what does that mean for you? Can you do the same thing as Wu Jun or Leon, make $1 billion empire? What about a tenth of that? Can you do $100 million empire? What about 100 of that? Let's say we do the half point. We won't do $1 billion. We won't even do 6.7. Let's do $3 billion. So a tenth of that is $300 million. 100 of that is $30 million. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I cannot buy $30 million of property. Despite these people doing it themselves at a high level, they got lucky. Maybe that's the case. But what about this? Can you do 1,000th of this for yourself? That is only $3 million in real estate. $3 million in the next 10, 20 years that you have moving forward. Now, for context for you, just kind of show you how powerful this is, the average American on a median price point for retirement at age 75 and older have $135,000 inside of the 401k or IRA. And we use the 4% rule of disbursements. That means they make $433 a month in income. I don't know about you, but that's not enough money to live or have rent and so forth. They're pretty broke, unfortunately. Now, with real estate, however, if they would have bought that instead, with the same amount of money that they distributed inside of the 401k, let's say we do 1,000 of the self-made billionaire investors. That is $3 million in real estate. If I use the 1% rule, meaning that if I have a portfolio of $3 million, I should make 1% of that inside of monthly income, which is $30,000, way more than $400. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, there has to be a catch. There's no way I'm making that much money from real estate. You're right, you're probably not, because there's another law called the 50% rule, meaning that you should make around 50% of 1% based on expenses you have on the properties. That is still $15,000 a month that you are making, all thanks to investing into real estate. That does not include equity that you own. Equity is your net worth. This is his cash flow. So again, if we use the average American strategy, that is 4% of $130,000 is $433 a month. 1% roll is $30K if it's totally paid off and no expenses and property managers. But more often than not, you probably have at least a $15K a year in income, which is, ironically, a lot of income for you. Over $180,000, which is $50K more than the person had saved up. Now, again, my name is Jordan.suber. I'm one of the top agents in all of America. I mastered how to help my clients save more money than ever before when buying houses, or make more money when selling houses as well in those strategies. We've broken records for selling homes within 2 days for $100K of asking price. I've saved my clients over $373,000 before when buying homes from luxury areas to commercial real estate. List goes on. My biggest savings to date was $1 million offers towards unit property for my clients. We have mastered all things real estate, and we can help you as well get the best returns for the buying or selling, because let's face it, we just saw the richest people in the world, who anyone can do this, did so through real estate. Their wealth was amassed that way, and you can start small. You can find strategies, you can make more money to have a huge portfolio, and maybe that become a billionaire, but at least a millionaire or multi-millionaire for yourself. And over here, I have a whole video that breaks down exactly all things buying and investing for you to teach you the concepts behind that while you get ready to move forward. And if you want more help from me directly, down below, call me directly. I'll walk you through the whole process and help you make so much money that your friends and family think you're something illegal, which is totally legal, and save a lot of money on taxes at the same time. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe this video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you at the top. Thanks for being here.